Hello everyone. Let us get started with C++ certification training. Now we shall look at history of C++ in this particular discussion. So what are the topics that we are going to cover? We will look at history of C++, we will look at evolution of C++, we will look at various versions of C++, and finally what are C++11 features. So let's begin with a little bit of history of C++. So let's look at some of the points to understand the history of C++. So basically C++ language is object-oriented programming language, and it is a combination of both low-level and high-level programming language. So basically low-level language is a language which is close to machine language, and high-level language is a language which is written in English-like language. For example, we have keywords like if, then. So this is close to an English like language, and it is known as high level programming language. Then C++ was developed by John Strostrup at Bell Telephone Lab in Murray Hills in New Jersey. So this is a very famous lab, and C++ was developed in this particular lab. Now C++ was initially known as C with classes and was renamed to C++ in 1983. Now C++ was developed for adding features of OOPS, which is object-oriented programming language in C, without significantly changing the C component or the basic C programming. Now as we move along in this course, you will see that OOPS is one of the very important concept of programming language, and C++ came into being to add these features in C as a programming language to have C++ programming language. So let us now look at evolution of C++ or journey of C++. So during the 1980, John Strostrup, father of C++, began working on C with classes, and it resulted in an object-oriented programming language that we have today as C++. Then in 1983, C got renamed to C++. New features were added. Most importantly, the features were virtual functions, overriding concepts. So we are going to look at these concepts in the upcoming modules, but these are some of the very important concepts related with object-oriented programming. Now in 1985, the C++ programming language was released and was ready for commercial use. Now in 1990, the annotated C++ manual was released, followed by Boland Turbo C++ compiler for commercial use. Then in mid 2011, the dubbed C++11 got completed, and then it got released. And then we have C++17 is the latest version of C++ that is available, and C++20 is being worked on and will be due for release soon. So basically this is an evolution or journey of the C++ programming language that we use today. Now, as you see in front of you in the slide, these are some of the versions: 98, 03, 11, 14, 17, and date-wise versions, the first edition, second edition, third edition. So while you are learning a language, it is always a good idea to have a brief history of the language itself. So this is a C++ version details with dates and the versions as well. Now let us look at C++ features, which is most important part of this particular discussion. So C++11 came with a lot of features. Now at this point of time, it is not possible to explain all these features, but I'll cover upon one or two of them in brief, and then we'll keep the details to be covered in the upcoming modules. So C++11 came with lambda expressions, then uniform initialization syntax, deleted and defaulted functions, delegating constructors, null pointer, automatic type detections, and R value references. So let me talk about some of this now, and please understand that it might not be completely clear to you when I explain it, but don't worry, we will understand them properly when we go to the further modules. So basically C++ came with lambda expressions. What is a lambda expression? It's an ability for you to define functions locally in the place where you want to use it. So this is a feature of C++11. Then we have uniform initialization syntax. So C++11 gave some capabilities, or rather 4 different ways to do the initialization, which we will see in upcoming programs later on. And then another one which I'll talk about now is null PTR, which is null pointer. So basically uh, this particular keyword is designated as a null pointer constant. This was long due in C++. So basically it refers to null in C++11. So the other topics or the other features, we shall look at them in details in the upcoming modules of this particular course. So to summarize this discussion, at the end of this session, you should be able to understand the history of C++, then know about the evolution of C++, then also know the different versions of C++, and we should also know the C++11 core features. As I've already mentioned that we will look at the details of core features in the upcoming modules. So in summary, we have looked at history of C++, we have looked at evolution of C++, versions of C++, and C++ features. That's all in this particular discussion. Thank you so much for your time.